Hey everyone, I'm Rick, and this is Unfiltered. This is where we talk about the apps we use, the apps we come across, hopefully give some feedback, maybe some direction. But really, it's just an unfiltered conversation between three guys talking about products. Like I said, I'm Rick. I'm a product designer. I'm the founder of Upstory. We work from small startups all the way up to large companies with millions of users. And let me introduce my co-host. This is Nash.
Hello, Rick and Daniel. This is Nash. I'm a growth consultant with various size companies as well, and I am happy to be here.
And I'm Daniel. I'm the senior designer here at Upstory. Been a product designer for about 10 years, mainly focused on early stage companies from seed to Series B. I help these companies raise millions and millions of dollars, mainly by focusing on design and business. So, yeah, ready to move
Awesome.
forward.
Awesome. Nash, what are we reviewing today?
Uh, what are we reviewing today? Today we are reviewing Wealthfront, and so really
Wealth.
excited about this one. I'm new to Wealthfront. I've heard a lot about Wealthfront in X, formerly known as Twitter, and so it took me a while to dive in, but again, I'm new and I'm excited to dive into this with you guys.
Awesome. Let's do it. I thought we were reviewing Rocket Money, so I'm going to go ahead and load the app real quick. This is even better. This is going to be completely fresh, completely unscripted, unfiltered, whatever. So, getting it right now.
My bad, yeah.
No, this is
Unfiltered.
perfect. This is perfect. Awesome. So, I think we had talked about this briefly before, but the idea is that I'm going to go through the onboarding and we'll talk a little bit about that, what we think about that, and then have you share your screen, and you'll go through kind of what it looks like once you have an app or once you have an account with them. So, does that sound good to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, here we go. Here's the home screen. By the way, this side thing, that's because I got Google Meet here. It's not part of the app. Just a quick point, but looks like they have just pretty basic standard home screen educational content. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but it's clean.
Quickly, what's the like high level of who Wealthfront is? I understand them as and I downloaded them as a high yield savings account.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys have any other perspective on that, but that's who I understand them to be.
I honestly know very little about Wealthfront, so I'm coming in real wet behind the ears on this one.
Yeah, same. I was going to ask you, Nash, actually, like what got you to download them? Thinking about acquiring users and bringing
Yeah.
them into the app. And so obviously you went through this onboarding page. What were your thoughts initially on this?
Um,
Did you even go through it?
I did. Yeah. I went through, downloaded the app and went through the onboarding. And so, Twitter definitely, X definitely is what drew me here. And a lot of like entrepreneurs, there's
Gotcha.
still a lot of entrepreneurs being like Wealthfront, they have like a 5% APY.
Mm,
And so I've had cash sitting in Wells Fargo doing absolutely nothing. So I'm like, well, I at least should have it do something for me. And so definitely social brought me here. Lots and lots of social nudges, and then the value was the high yield savings account.
interesting. And so
Awesome.
also said like automate your savings here.
Yeah, no,
They
I
do a
mean,
lot more, yeah.
the idea here makes sense. I mean, the idea of, like you said, and it's interesting they don't mention this here because maybe that's not a number they want to share, but like that whole 5% annual,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big number. You know, when you compare that against a bank account, especially if you're at like Wells Fargo, where it's what 0.05 or some just very low percentage. Okay, good. Let me go ahead and go through the onboarding, get started. Open a new account, new money, now money, soon money, later money, DIY money. Oh, so you can invest here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
There you go. There's a 5% right here. Soon money, ETFs, okay. Automated investing. Wow, so they do actually a lot. There's their four pillars of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So did you just like tap on one? Okay, continue to set up. What's this then? Okay, so each of these just kind of start. You can start through the onboarding in whatever one. That's an interesting way of doing the onboarding. Actually,
Yeah.
where it,
Yeah.
it's choose your own adventure. I think that's kind of unique. I don't think I see that very often in an onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
These shadows getting cut off on the left and right. I don't know if you can really see that. It really bugs me.
Yeah.
But that's just a quick little design fix that needs to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and do the cash account. See what it says. Just me. Oh boy, let's see here. We'll see how far we can get here without sharing too much.
With as little.
Okay, my email address. We're gonna go rick@upstory.co. Yep, everyone's got my email now. I'm gonna let my one password create password. No. Okay, my password's gonna be password. Oh wow, they let me do password as a password.
Nice.
Okay, good. I was gonna say I was hoping they wouldn't. Not secure enough. Unique. Okay, password with a capital P. 1.
Hey Daniel, while Rick is
Exclamation.
filling this out, did you also think we were doing rocket money?
No, I thought we were doing Wealthfront. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that's all me, man.
I was
We
just
sending
like,
some stuff off while we were talking, so it probably wasn't
well, I was just
fully
like,
right.
oh man, was I really like that far off?
Mm-mm.
I can't.
I kind of do want to come back to the first page where you can choose your path. I definitely like the idea of choose your own direction, but I did feel like the first page was kind of felt like a lot for me, especially with not knowing generally what I wanted to do. Maybe it's because I didn't know anything about Wealthfront, and coming in it's now money, soon money, later money. I like how they trying to make it more in layman's terms, but
Yeah.
kind of confused me more on what later money actually was.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think you're right. They could have done maybe I'm not sure exactly what I would have done here, but they could have done maybe something different on how to separate these. I go back and forth on this timeline view.
Yeah.
It sort of works, but it creates an extra thing that I have to kind of creates a little bit more of a cognitive load to understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, maybe the answer is to do something instead of putting people in buckets of what Wealthfront does, maybe we capture what the user wants to do and then we direct them towards the right flow. So instead of being this is your cash money, now money, this is your soon money, automated bond portfolio, you can ask for example, Nash, you a drop down saying what do you want to do? And then it could be increase my savings, or the next one would be I don't know, whatever automated bond portfolio, how we can shorten that. But then we have that simple direction of what do you want to do, and then now we can navigate them towards that flow versus all right, what are these 4 buckets here? DIY money is stock investing account. Basically, I just gotta focus pretty hard to figure out what's going on here. Actually,
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting. First of all, 2 things. One is sometimes that focus is positive. You almost want to make it where you're the later money and the DIY money. It's an interesting. It piques my interest. It's almost intentionally making me dig in to understand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're doing that on purpose, but I've definitely seen apps that do that. I did want to. You called something out, so I thought we're doing Rocket Money. So here's Rocket Money. And interestingly, this is kind of the approach that they take. What do you want to do? Right?
There you go.
I want to grow my savings, or
Cool.
I want to track my net worth. I mean, these are obviously different things, but kind of an interesting,
The approach
interesting
is a little
thing.
similar.
Yeah. All right, with that, I don't
Yeah,
think I'm going to be able to
interesting.
get past this because we failed to create your account. I ran into an edge case here. I think we're going to have Nash start sharing because I think I won't be able to get past this. Let me try one more time.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at this does show all cash because it's connected to like our main Wells Fargo account. So it's showing like checking, savings. Yes, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know that I have spousal permission.
It's the most important one.
Oh, I got something.
Nice.
Do I want to share all this? I don't know, man.
I know. This is a tough one because we're talking about a lot of PI, personal information stuff.
Yeah, I might. If we share this, I'll probably have to pixelate some of that stuff. All right, which account should we fund your new? And then we got to go right to linking accounts. I'm not doing that now. We got stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we tried.
And that's going to be
Yeah.
is that going to be every
Banking app.
like banking app?
Yeah, probably. Let me try one more thing though. See if they have it. This could be another way that we do this in the future. Is just do more stuff that's on Mobbin.
Mm-hmm.
What is mobbing?
What is Mobbin? Mobbin is awesome, man. So it's a site that you can see, like they show screenshots of the entire onboarding for a ton of different apps. So let's see here. Let's check it out. Wealthfront.
Wow.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Continue.
Nice.
Google. Oh, we get to check the site connection again. Oh, goodness. Just give it a second, guys. Let's go into space. Speaking of going to space, I found some interesting things out about my internet connection at my new place.
What's
So
that?
they don't have. I don't think Comcast has a connection there.
No
So
way.
I might have to get Starlink. But then I got some really great news. I called a fiber company, and they don't have fiber in my neighborhood, but they were planning on doing it this summer. And when I called, they're like, "Oh, we'll add your address. It's not going to cost you anything." So it's like, yes.
Nice.
So I'll be getting fiber. Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go.
I might be getting Starlink first, but eventually I'll be getting fiber. So that's exciting.
It is. When I was seeing your speeds, I was shocked.
Yeah. Nash, how's your internet speed at your place?
How do I check it?
Well, I don't know. How's it feel? Does it feel fast? Do you have issues with
It
it?
feels fine. Never really have issues. No.
Okay, good. I have issues all the time here, so.
I feel like I've had issues there.
Yeah, you have. Here we go. Finally, we got in.
Nice.
All right, so we got our onboarding. You can see. What do you want to do? Oh, interesting. Look at this. They've updated this since then. Can I click and make this bigger?
Oh, so this is where it started before, huh? And you try to make it a timeline view?
Interesting. It's almost a "what do you want to do" thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much detail in it, but
yeah.
It's just me go through the address. And then, oops, which account should we use to link? All right, let's go back to the nav then. Let's close this.
Does Marvin stop right here too?
No. We got a bank account here.
Nice.
Pretty straightforward on the bank account. That's just like Square, or not Square, Plaid, probably, right?
Yeah, Plaid,
Similar.
yeah.
Transferring money, verifying people. Okay, so they got, I mean, obviously, you're a finance company. You have to do all this legal stuff. Some of this stuff is just a lot. KYC, know your customer. Here's the homepage.
Okay, now we're at home.
Sweet.
I see.
So you connect your different accounts. I see, Nash, what you're talking about. Yeah, I think, Daniel, you're pointing that out. Like, you got your different accounts, your checking, your savings. And then, go ahead.
It's definitely, and so like from my perspective, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't think it gives me a lot of great direction on like,
yeah,
you know, I can the push that I see is like put more of your cash into our savings, high yield savings account. That's like the major push. It's like, hey, you can take this money and put it in here and you'll earn more money. I don't see like they don't push me into like invest. I think you can invest. I think you can do other things. I just don't get a lot of like direction.
Right. Which, I mean, to be honest, is to some extent is fair. I mean, there are a lot of apps. Let's talk about Mint for a second. Mint is one of those apps that's just like it's your overall kind of financial health. And they just are constantly selling. Like, the only thing they do is just sell. And it's really annoying, really frustrating. A friend of ours used Mint, and he just had to give up on it because it's just like, it's just too much. The UX is just overwhelming. Whereas this, there's something about it just being super simple. I'm curious what these goals are up top. What does it do when you go there, Nash?
You can set goals. So like, when do you want to retire?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there you go. Goals. Nice. Dude, Marvin is crazy.
Okay. And then it goes through. Honestly, I think this is great. They're almost selling me on it.
Let's go.
This is cool.
Yeah, I'm learning more now that we're doing this too. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a point in and of itself that you didn't know what to do. And that would be the one thing I would say, like right off the bat, the goal is up top here. Uh-oh. Oh, good. We get to reload.
I was going to say that actually,
yeah,
from onboarding to landing on the first page, Nash, how did that feel for you, your first experience?
Onboarding?
The transition from onboarding,
Yeah, going through the onboarding to landing on the first page, like the homepage. How did you feel landing on the homepage?
Yeah, good. Honestly, like Plaid has done a really great job at making any sort of bank connections easy. And then I think my first round I was going to do it with Mel, my wife, and I didn't know her social, so I backed out, and then I just did it myself.
Gotcha.
So like, other than that, it was like pretty easy. And then it's just like, okay, connect your account and then bring cash over. So I thought it was very easy.
Nice. So you're generally pretty happy that your accounts were connected relatively seamlessly, and then when you landed on you saw all the numbers. I guess you can guess that it's accurate. In terms of like the main reason why you wanted to download the app, and then when you saw the home screen, did it help you accomplish what you wanted to do, or were you more still like in the exploration stage where you like, it's a new app, I'm down to jump around and see what's going on, or were you just like, okay, I connected everything, I'm done, and you turn it off?
It's a good question. I had a wild hair one weekend where I'm like, oh, I guess I could download all my wherever there is cash. We live in a time where I can like have a mobile wallet essentially. So I
Yeah.
just downloaded all the apps. I put them into like a finance bucket, and it's like they're all
Mm-hmm.
sitting there. So it did it that in that it accomplished like Wealthfront is one of those places where there's
Okay.
cash. So like, but then at that point, again, like I would go on, and I just would be like, I don't know what else to do with it. And so, and I didn't
Gotcha.
really, I've seen the goal thing, and I just haven't really understood how to use the goal, or I just thought I thought it was just like tracking
Yeah.
net worth and age. So yes, did accomplish what I was hoping for, but I haven't really gone beyond that.
I think I know where you're going with this, Daniel. Is it feels like, as a general rule, they do a pretty good job of onboarding. There's a couple pages that we saw earlier that were maybe could use a little bit of cleanup, but as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
they do a pretty good job of onboarding, and then they drop you in the dashboard and you don't know what to do.
Yeah. Long story short, they get you in, but once you're in, you got a giant wall in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's fair. And honestly, it could be the simplest way of solving that. Like, a low hanging fruit to me is just this goals up top. It Unless Nash, maybe they did some part of the onboarding, they kind of walked you through the dashboard, but I'm not seeing anything here on Mobbin. So
No.
I might be speaking out of turn, but a simple low hanging fruit could be like the goals. That's really what you want. So make that a more prominent button, or pulsate, or do something where it's like, hey, go here, check this out. And I was looking through what it was doing here, and I think there's something. I think this makes a lot of sense of just kind of going through this questionnaire of, hey, what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? I think if you get through this onboarding and go through your goals where you get done, and now you have a goal, I would hope, I don't know, but I would hope that it ends with, it brings you back to the dashboard, and here's where you're at now, and
Mm-hmm.
like a dotted line or something, like you're on track or you're not on track. And to me, that feels like a
Yeah.
nice jumping off point where it's like, I accomplished what I needed to accomplish,
Yeah.
and I didn't. I don't feel like you just dropped me in and now I've added my money and I just wait. Now I feel like I'm actually part of this journey that you gave me, and I'm on track or not on track to reach my goals.
Yeah. And then it really shows I invested time into this, and then it'll actually make me a lot harder to delete it at this point, because I mean, even though I have my accounts in here, at this point, like, there's not that much stopping me from just deleting it. And you might have my like bank information, but then like, if I delete the account, then it's all gone. And it's not like I invested too much time in where I can like jump to a different app that I feel like does it better. But then if I end up spending a little bit of time of setting my goal and like seeing my progress and seeing my checkpoints and like when I could expect my next, like, I don't know, boost in like network or something, that would be really interesting. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I want to sit on this and commit to this, and at least for the next like couple months to see when that checkpoint hits, and if I get a boost of dopamine or something, and then, yeah, just doing that alone, I feel like would make me jump from day 0 or continue on to like day, like, I don't know, 120.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, as a whole, I mean, I would give the app a pretty good score. Like, I think they do a really good job. I think the UI is clean. It's maybe there are a couple of small nits I might make on it, but it's like, as a general rule for banking apps, it's clean. It's nice. It's just like we said. I think the biggest opportunity for them would be just making sure that they don't drop people off when they land them in the dashboard. Like, give them a little bit more. And I know there's some that as you scroll down the page, you can get a little bit more. But I feel like they could probably take it a little bit of a step further. So this is good.
Yeah, especially knowing like why you do enter the app because of those 4 buckets at the beginning.
Yeah.
You can definitely tailor the experience of landing on the homepage a lot more. I mean, going through the onboarding, seeing how like robust and like
Yeah.
it was, like, I feel like the team can definitely spend a little bit of time of now we know that Nash wants to come in for the high yield savings. Let's make his experience of high yield savings really, really good when you first jump in.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. All
yeah.
right.
One thought I have really quickly is Acorns.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder why everyone's not doing this at this point, but they have the pin to log in versus like a login, and I think I love that experience over a login at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think logins are just like becoming so. As we all know, we have like a million logins, and so I hope that's a future ad for Wealthfront.
Do they not do Face ID login?
I don't know. They might.
Yeah, because that would be. I mean, that's on like the more secure apps that we, for our clients, that's what we'll do is we'll do password and Face ID, or if you can't do Face ID, then we'll do PIN. So it's kind of like a 3-step process where we have, some simplified way of logging in. Because you're right, the idea of needing to log in every time, fill in your information, especially if some people don't have a good password manager, that's a really big pain. But I would be surprised if an app as big as Wealthfront doesn't use Face ID. So it's a little hard to check. We're running a little blind here, honestly. So it's a little hard to do a review today. It's hard to do. Honestly, here's what it comes down to. It's hard to do a review of a finance app because it's just like there's so much personal data in there. You don't want to share a lot of that. So let's talk about this real quick. Overall, what would you guys say? Overall, I mean, Daniel, you gave a pretty good summary, but if you give it a letter grade, what would you give it?
I guess it depends on what we're focusing on, but design and like UX and UI stuff, I would give it a pretty solid like B plus A range. My only gripe here is if we really focus on like once the user starts to use the app, like getting you set up is great. I think it's awesome, but once you get past the okay, I'm done. Now what is I think that's where it starts to fall. Like, I'll give it like almost a C at this point.
Sure.
But
yeah, I think they have the tools to really kill it though.
Yeah. How about you, Nash?
Yeah, I'm gonna go A. They do have Face ID and they do have a PIN. So I just set the PIN, and
nice.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say A because like the social buzz that they have is like incredible. A lot of people are talking about Wealthfront, and I get what they're doing. Right, they're competing with Wells Fargo, and they're just trying to get cash in. We know what banks do, so it's like they're just trying to get cash in the door, and they're doing a great job. I think they're doing a great job getting cash so they can go and do whatever banks do. So great job, Wealthfront. I agree with Daniel though. Like just some more direction. I'm sure that's like a next phase, next wave that's coming.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I would say I'd give it exactly what Daniel was saying, a B plus to an A. That's right where it is. The UX overall, the onboarding is pretty good. I think they could go to an A plus app if they held your hand a little bit better past the onboarding, like give kind of a post onboarding experience. There's opportunity there, and I think that they could really make that really sticky. Nash, you mentioned something real quick before we close. Is there's something about the fact that really what their goal is probably to like take your money and put it in their account. Like they've already accomplished their goal, and to some extent, there's like, well, what more do you need us to do? We did it. We going back to retention. Like, well, you already put all your money in your account. What are you going to do? Take it out now that you didn't? You know what I mean? It's probably unlikely that someone sees that and decides to take it out. So there's probably some risk involved with trying to push too hard on something. And so once their money is in, once they're in the dashboard, it's almost like the retention is, I want to see my money growing. And so you leave it in there and you see the money growing. And so, you know, devil's advocate, maybe they've actually gone down this road and realized it actually is shooting themselves in the foot. We just want to get them to their dashboard, show them that their money's here, and then expect them to come back in 3 weeks and see if their money is starting to grow.
That's it.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. I actually thought about that, Nash and Rick, when you said that, or Nash, when you said that, like, money's in there. It's kind of like their Wealthfront's goal is to have your money in there and stay in there. So yeah, in terms of Wealthfront, they kind of did it.
Yeah.
I guess, Nash, would there be anything for you to remove this, like take this out, or any reason? Would there be anything that you'd want to, I don't know, put more money in there?
I am gonna put more money in there. I'm gonna take all my
Oh, nice.
because I have to do my own taxes, and it's like I have like a savings account, and it just I told Rick and we talked about this, and it just sat in a Wells Fargo savings account and did nothing. It's like, oh man, if that would have sat in Wealthfront for a year, that would help pay for taxes essentially. So it's like I plan on putting all of my like tax money into Wealthfront. I mean, I imagine there's gonna come a time when that 5% thing is kiboshed because they can't do that anymore. And so at that point, that might be a point.
Yeah. I think the other thing, I mean, quite honestly, from going back to like what we can do as like the product design team, what their scope is, I think there's something to be said for if another app comes along and that app does a better job of holding your hand, better job of kind of explaining the experience and walking you through those goals, then there could be, that's their risk, right? The risk is less like, oh, you didn't do, the risk is less about me pulling out my money because it just didn't accomplish my goals, and it's more about someone else coming along who can accomplish their goals better, and then I pull my money out to move to someone else. And so I think, back to what we were saying before, holding their hand a little bit more, helping them in that kind of post-onboarding experience, I think could help make it more sticky to minimize that risk. But yeah, I mean, again, I think of all the apps that we've reviewed over the last few weeks, this is probably the one that, in my mind, has done it the best.
Yeah, side note, I wonder, I get stuck on with any fintech and investing, I do get stuck on like, what ETF do I put it in? What mutual fund do I put it in? It's like, where do if there was like, I don't know, I haven't seen a great product that does hold your hand, and I'm wondering if a lot of these products have like some sort of affiliate to get you hooked up with an advisor or something like that. But I agree, if there was I've heard a lot of buzz about like financial advisors are going to be gone because it's like, just put it into this Vanguard and let it sit for 10 years, you know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, if they could help me do that, to Daniel's point, I would do that. It's just like it's not very clear to me.
Yeah, I bet if you click on that goals, it would be, but they got to get you to click there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go. That's Wealthfront. Gets a good grade from the Unfiltered crew. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Peace. Thanks, everyone.
Peace.